Well, the Libyan leader, Colonel Gaddafi, has vowed that Libyans will take up arms against the West if they attempt to enforce a no-fly zone. The threat comes as government forces begin a second day of concentrated offensives in the rebel-held towns of Zawiya in the east and Ras Lanuf in the west. The counterattacks have only increased pressure on the United Nations to authorise an air exclusion zone. ABC correspondent Tim Palmer reports.
Zawiya sits just 60 kilometres from the Libyan capital Tripoli and to its west, and as long as it's controlled by the rebels, it represents a beachhead and a humiliation for the regime. Now, after 2 weeks, it seems Colonel Gaddafi has lost patience. Protesters demanding the end of Gaddafi's rule once again took to Zawiya's streets. This time, as they approached government tanks, the troops opened fire. Outgunned, rebel volunteers fought back, but the bombardment went on until well into the night. One local told the Reuters news agency that Zawiya, as it was, no longer exists. Numbers of casualties couldn't be confirmed, but hospitals were reportedly overflowing with people suffering bullet wounds, children and women among the injured. But rebel fighters say they still hold the town.
We killed 4 people on this tanker, and we've got their guns and their weapons, and now we are taking photos, they can be destroyed. Now, all the people are shouting outside because they are win, their victory is near.
In the absence of independent reporting, and many correspondents have been arrested trying to get to Zawiya, the streets tell the story of what's happened here. On what's now an entrenched front further east, government forces pounded the port of Ras Lanuf. The town's oil refinery makes it strategically important, both sides desperate to control it. The town is now largely empty of civilians after airstrikes hit a number of buildings. Libyan state television is broadcasting footage showing off captured fighters that government soldiers say are Al-Qaeda sympathisers. And they sent this warning to their enemies.
Yesterday we killed you in Ben Jawad. Today we killed you in Ras Lanuf. Tomorrow we will kill you in everywhere in Libya.
It's that sort of rhetoric and the sustained airstrikes which is concerning the rebels.
We appealed to the United Nations to impose a no-fly zone in Libya, to protect our families and to prevent any aircraft attacks like the ones you heard about now.
There's growing support for that view from the international community. According to the US Secretary of State, the Gulf countries will support a no-fly zone and Arab League nations don't object. NATO will also discuss the issue on Thursday. The United States is waiting for the authority of the United Nations.
I think it's very important that this not be a U.S. led effort, because this comes from the people of Libya themselves. This doesn't come from the outside.
But outside the country is exactly where the Libyan leader Colonel Gaddafi insists the troubles all started.
These elements are completely hopeless. There is no way with them. It's a small group from Afghanistan, Algeria, Egypt and Palestine who entered cities. They entered Zentan, Zawiya and Benghazi. And then what happened?
For the rebels, though, it's how this ends, which is much more important. Tim Palmer, Late Line.
And just a short time ago, a Greek foreign ministry official said a private Libyan jet flew through Greek-controlled airspace headed to Egypt. They said there was no information as to whether it belonged to Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi or who the passengers were.